Welcome into the studio, guys. Today I'm hitting a abbreviated, kind of condensed upper body session. We're going to take advantage of antagonist paired sets, one of my favorite training tactics that will help you get more work done in less time. We're also going to be using some intensifiers like supersets and training to, in my opinion, kind of beyond failure with some of our accessory work at the end of the session. The goal is to get through 4 compound movements to train the whole upper body and some accessory work for the shoulders and arms. Now, we're skipping the warm-up today because we've already done it, which is kind of nice. I actually just finished filming an upper body warm-up that takes about 5 minutes. This is what I do. This is what I would recommend for you as well. I'll link that right here. That's going to be a 5-minute upper body warm-up. We have a lower body one as well for efficient warm-up. So if you want to get that done, you can start there. But the most important thing we're going to be doing today is taking advantage of time. I'm traveling at the end of the week. I barely have time to train right now, so we're going to try to get this workout done in about 30 minutes, which might be advanced, but you can shorten it and condense it to fit your current fitness level. So we're going to take advantage of our antagonist paired set training by training one muscle and then immediately moving into a set to train the antagonist muscle. So remember, the agonists are the muscles that we're training and that work together. So agonist muscles on a push would be the chest, the shoulders, triceps. The antagonists would be the back and the biceps. So if we're going to start with a push on set 1 and pair that with an antagonist set, we're going right into a pull. And I actually take it one step further. If I'm doing a horizontal push, I'm then going to go into a vertical pull. So I'll show you what I mean. Our first exercise of the day is going to be this low incline bench press. You'll see I've set it at the very lowest incline I can. If I go any lower, I'm actually going to be doing a flat dumbbell bench press. And I think, personally, from years of having done this 15-degree incline is the most underrated thing in all of fitness. This little notch right here, this incline, it allows you to kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the shoulder mobility from that slight incline angle, but you get the strength and the power that we love on the flat bench press. I do like 90% of my flat bench pressing, the flat bench pressing that I do with dumbbells, I do it on this 15-degree incline. I absolutely love it. So for set 1, since we're warmed up, we're going to get right into it. We're aiming for, let's say, 2 reps from failure on every set. So we're starting with our press. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm starting to slow down, so I think I'm getting close. So we'll call it right there at 10. Now, that press was horizontal in nature. So my chest, my shoulders, my triceps, they're tired. We now go into training the antagonist pattern. So that would be a pull. Specifically, something like a row or a pull down. And we're going to do the pull down because, and this is just my take on it, if I'm pressing horizontally, I actually like to pair it with a pull in a different plane of motion. Some people like to do the same. Presses overhead with pull downs, presses horizontally with rows. We're just flipping that. We're going about 1 to 2 reps from failure on these pull-ups. Back, biceps, obviously. The prime movers here. Okay, now let's say you can't do pull-ups. Maybe you'll do them banded. Or you can always think about the pull-up in a way as a body weight lat pull down. So if pull-ups aren't on the menu for you based on your current strength, you could always just replace them with a similar movement type. Another pull in that vertical plane, okay? So we'll give the body about a minute and then get back to it. And maybe you're thinking, why only a minute? Here's why. This set, let's say it took me 45 seconds. And then I walk over here. And I do about 45 seconds of pull downs. And then I take a minute. It'll be about 2 minutes between when I pressed the first time and when I pressed the second time. And that's what we're trying to capture with these antagonist paired sets, is that efficiency factor, right? I want more efficiency in my training. So if I pair two exercises that are the same, and I went from like a slight incline press into a decline press, and I only took 1 minute, by the time I come back for that second round here, it's gonna suck. I'm gonna have no juice. But right now, I feel pretty fresh and ready to go. Controlling the eccentric, lowering the weights with my chest, not just dropping them. One more. Okay. And then right into our antagonist paired set. The sets are paired, they go together. It's a specific type of superset. Now, would it still work? Would it still be an antagonist paired set if I did a chin up instead of a pull up? Yes, it would. Because the biceps in the back are still the prime mover. And they're very much antagonistic to the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. So right there was 4 sets. I want you to do the math with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 sets: chest, shoulders, triceps, back, and biceps. We'll go 3 rounds through this and call that kind of our big combo. Then we will move into another tandem. But to me, it makes sense to only do that for 2 sets, because by the time I get done with 5 rounds of these antagonist paired sets, I'll have trained 10 sets of upper body compound lifts, and that is a lot of volume spread across all of these muscles. This last set, you'll see, is going to be a little sloppier, because I'm starting to feel it in the name of time, in the name of efficiency. You'll see I lifted my feet up on the bench. That does nothing. Okay. And we'll go into our last vertical pull. We'll go back to the pull-up. Remember, pull up, overhand, chin up, underhand, chin up a little more bicep, pull up a little more back. Both of them work, back and biceps. Whew. Completely ran out of gas there. I only ended up getting about 6, maybe 5. So it was probably like 10, 9, 8 on the presses. Lost a little steam every time, but probably about 10, 8, 6 on the pull down. Lost more steam. But I know after that, a lot of my pushing muscles are fried. A lot of my pulling muscles are fried. And so we trained a horizontal press and our vertical pull. So now we're going to train a vertical push and a horizontal pull. And for our horizontal press, we did a dumbbell. For our overhead or vertical press, we're going to use the barbell. Could you flip those? Yes. Could you do all barbell? Yes. Could you do all dumbbell? Yes. I will say, on the overhead press, personally, I like the barbell quite a bit, but for a lot of you, it's too technical, so don't worry about it. You can just do a dumbbell overhead press. But I have 95 pounds on the bar right here. Not a ton of weight, but enough weight that, you know, getting into my first set, I'll be able to push hard and get some quality output. We're only doing 2. So my core is tight, my back is flat, up. Like I'm opening a window and sniffing the air outside that window. Okay, so we will consider that our vertical press, set 1. Now, we need to pair that with a row. And every single lift I've done so far has been bilateral, both sides working at the same time. We're gonna do our row unilaterally, and we're gonna do a 1-arm dumbbell row. This is gonna help us sneak some abs in, because when I'm in this position rowing, my obliques and abs are working super duper hard. And it's gonna be our unilateral movement of the day. So pairing our overhead press with a horizontal pull, and literally like just look at my back. I'm bent clean in half, very much in a horizontal plane. So let's go for 6 to 8 reps per arm, staying tight and keeping good form. Good, and then we're going over to the other side, locking it in. Okay, 6 and 6. So this is more back and biceps. That's good, because we're pairing our push with our pull. And so from there, we're right into set 2 of 2. And like I said earlier, when we get through all 5 of those antagonist paired sets, that's 10 total sets of upper body compounds. That is more than enough to feel like you are working hard. Okay, so here we go. 1. Ooh. So we got 8 that time. We're gonna bring it home on our horizontal row. Our final compound of the day, our final antagonist paired set. And I think we got started at like 8 or 10 after 9. So we've only been going for like 10 to 12 minutes. That is extreme efficiency. Should you train like this every day? Probably not. But if you have limited time, what a fantastic way to pack in a ton of full range of motion, heavy compound lifts. The shit that builds muscle, the shit that keeps you flexible, the shit that makes you strong and resilient. You can only do one thing in the weight room. It should be a full range of motion compound lift. Here we go. And so 10 sets, packed in very tightly, very efficient. If you were on vacation or you're traveling or you only have 20 minutes to work out, you can be done right there. You actually can be done right there. I would argue that if you did that twice a week, just those 10 sets, and for your lower body, you did something different, also antagonist paired sets. Maybe it's like a goblet squat and a kettlebell swing, a squat and a hinge. If you did 2 days of this and 2 days of that squat hinge pairing, about 10 sets each, you're gonna be in better shape than probably 90% of people. So here's what we're doing now. We're getting away from the compounds. And we're going to some pre-exhaust sets to kind of hit what I would call the accessory work. Put some polish on it. So first exercise is going to be a straight arm push down. On a previous video, I showed you guys how to do this with a bench for support. Today we're going to do it standing, and we're going to pair it with a tricep extension. And why I like this pairing is the straight arm pull down, overhead movement. It gets the lats and the shoulders, also gets the triceps kind of fatigued. Then we're going to just completely blast the triceps with some rope extensions to finish. So let's start with a fairly challenging set of these straight arm pull downs. Reps are going to be higher here, I think. The reason we're doing this is we were around 6 to 10 reps on those compounds. So let's try for about 15 to 20 on these isolation lifts, so we can dance around the different rep ranges and leave no stone unturned. Okay. Right from that into tricep extensions. Okay, so getting to 15 there was harder than you'd think because we took advantage of a different intensifier here known as pre-exhaust. So the triceps are crushed because this actually works triceps. So that pairing is really nice. One of my favorites. I do this a ton for clients. Straight arm push down into tricep extension. We're going to do 2 sets of 15 of each. And that will pretty much finish off our back. And I think it'll give us a nice 2 sets of triceps on top of the fact that, when we're pressing on the flat or on the overhead, we're getting triceps. And so that's what's important about these sessions. If we're aiming for efficiency, we start with compounds. Because yes, this is 3 sets of chest, but it's also 3 sets of shoulders. It's also 3 sets of triceps. And yes, that pull-up, that was 3 sets of back, but it was also 3 sets of biceps. So by the time I've done my chest presses, my overhead presses, done 5 sets of triceps, and by the time I've done my pull downs, my 1-arm rows, and my 2 sets here, I've done like 7 sets of back. That's a good amount of back for a session that's about efficiency. So getting into that second one again, back is starting to get pumped. I'm still feeling it from the rows and from the pull downs. Stretch, contract, stretch, contract, stretch, contract. And now my triceps are lit up. I do not think I'll get 15, but we're gonna try. No way. Ooh. We got 10, we're gonna get 15 by incorporating a drop set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Triceps are cooked. Lats are very pumped. The last little bit we're going to do here is for the delts and a little extra work for the biceps. We'll take advantage of another kind of superset here for time and for efficiency. For the biceps, I haven't done this in a very long time, but I actually quite like this movement because it gets a ton of the forearms, the brachialis. If you've ever done hammer curls, you're definitely familiar with this type of movement. And trust me, this bar looks a lot crazier than it really is. This is just a multi-grip bar. You know how an easy bar has that bend to it, and you can grab the different handles and do your biceps in a supinated grip, like this, like this, like this. We're just gonna do a series of hammer curls from different positions for a total of 21 reps. So you've done 21s before. This is just like every other 21 you've ever done. 5, 6, 7. Moving in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are a lot like drag curls. You'll notice I'm sliding it up the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Woo! Probably the douchiest way on earth to use the barbell and to use the squat rack. To do a multi-grip hammer curl 21 in the squat rack. This is pro tip. Buy your own fucking gym. You want to do this shit? Buy your own gym. I joke because truthfully you should be able to do whatever you want, you know, in a squat rack if nobody's bothering you, nobody needs it. Not the best gym etiquette to go grab the cambered bar, take it to the squat rack and hit it. You could definitely just do something like this where maybe you do 7 reps neutral hammer, 7 reps cross body hammer, 7 reps reverse curl to get to your 21s that way. And we are going to pair that with a lateral raise. I really like this variation. Now, it's not for all of you. I love it. You gotta have a dual cable. If you don't have a dual cable, you can just do a regular lateral raise. But what we do here, set it up like so, okay? All the way at the bottom. And I like to go pretty light here. So I'm dropping my weights all the way down to 10 pounds. And what I'm gonna do, grabbing my right cable with my left hand and my left cable with my right hand, I'm gonna cross them behind my back and raise up into the shape of a Y. So, why I like that, remember the delts, they're working here, 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 right? This plane, this Y, I get tons of overhead extension. I feel it like crazy in my middle lateral delts. That's my favorite way to do the lateral raise, personally. I love the dumbbells. That's my favorite. Okay, just for shits and gigs, we're gonna flip the bar. When we did our curls last time, bar was in this position. Now we're gonna do it this way, a little more supination, still sticking with that drag curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Woo! Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Oh shit. Ooh, so I know that looks kind of awkward, but remember a drag curl, all we're really doing is prioritizing elbow flexion by not letting the bar move out in front of the body. By dragging it up, you're really using elbow flexion. It just looks weird at the shoulder because you're probably not used to seeing it, which I understand. That said, awesome exercise. And our finisher, our final set, our last set of the day. One more of these Y raises. 1, 2. So there you have it, folks. That's pretty much it. Think about it this way. We did 10 total compound movements in terms of set volume. 3 chest presses, 3 pull downs, 2 overhead presses, 2 rows, 10 sets of the big lifts. Then we added on 2 supersets to kind of stack more volume. Straight arm push down and triceps, drag curls with the multi-grip bar, and laterals. That took me about 25-30 minutes, and it totaled 14 sets. And for a new lifter, intermediate lifter even, that's more than enough for growth. And if you're like me and you're closer to a little bit of an intermediate advanced standpoint, a workout like that is definitely going to help you maintain. And if you push hard enough, it'll definitely help you continue to make progress, even in a condensed time frame, which is what I've been working with a lot lately. If you want more content like this that's actionable, educational, and really kind of created by someone who does train real people, be sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and like this video so more things of mine find their way to you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video.